Pranjal, shall I start? Folks, thank you for being here. This is about India, the digital revolution, what is happening. We are in the midst of the digital revolution on a scale never seen before in human civilization. 250 years ago, when the industrial revolution took place, India, China made up 45% of world GDP. The age of the machines drove Europe to global domination. The two great wars, freedom for nations all across, changed the political, social landscape and created the world that is there today. But it happened over 250 years. Now we are seeing a revolution happening in a very short period of time with the start of the internet 15 years ago. This is the world today. 8.25 billion people, 5.8 billion people have a mobile connection, 6 billion people on the internet. What does the internet do? The internet is a platform where you can interact with people globally, synchronously, asynchronously, 24/7. It gives you information, entertainment, education, financial services, health information, etc., and empowers every single individual who's got a mobile connection with a cheap data plan. It's incredible because the accumulated knowledge of humankind is available to everybody at the touch of a button. Never happened before, and that is changing. The Industrial Revolution created the global supply chain to connect consumers to producers globally, and that is controlled by the OECD. But now you can reach out to do business with anybody 24/7, and the supply chain goes to the background. So it empowers individuals, it creates its own challenges, and this is leading to new business models, new ways of globalization, etc., new power structures. And the market is speaking. The most valuable companies in the world are digital companies. NVIDIA is $5 trillion. The only other company here in the top 10 is Saudi Aramco, which has oil. And this is a portent of what will come. The most profitable companies globally are now the digital companies. Unbelievable profitability. But, Apple makes $100 billion. We have, Alphabet making $100 billion this year, Microsoft $80 billion. They're investing about $2.5 trillion in creating hyper cloud. Each one of them maybe $200 billion. These are very large numbers. NVIDIA's market cap is more than the GDP of most countries in the world, possibly barring the United States and China. And you can see how the growth happened in the last few years. It's been incredible level of growth. The new normal, global tech conglomerates dominate across the world. Apple has 2 billion people, and if you're on the Apple network of iOS, Apple could shut you off. Like Justice said, if you're a network, you are shut off, what are your rights? All your data is there, your way of interacting is there, and if you're shut off, what happens to you? Who is going to protect you? Nobody protects you. The law protects you, but Apple will not protect you because your agreement with Apple is by an agreement in favor of Apple. So we need, Justice Chandrachud, a global compact. We need a universal declaration of digital rights, like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. So every individual on the planet, his rights are defined and protected by law, by a global treaty. Alphabet has 4.5 billion people on Android, and Amazon has 2 billion people. Now, these are global monopolies. We're seeing global monopolies on a scale never seen before in human history. The East India Company had a great monopoly on global trade. After that, we've not seen this kind of monopolies, and all of them are American companies. China is there because of the Chinese wall within China, but globally, these are all companies with 90, 100% market share. They dominate. All of you are digital widgets in Google. Google knows what you do, what you eat, where you go, how you go. They can manipulate your thoughts. Cambridge Analytica used data to manipulate thoughts of people in elections. We know the data. And who is going to protect us when that happens is something that we have to understand. There's been an emergence of an AI super cycle over the last many years. You can see how AI came about from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s, and now is ramping up at a scale not seen before. And the next 5 years, AI with hypercloud, quantum computing is going to change the landscape. And people say 50, 60% of human activity is going to be done by AI. The key is, do we have the skills to use AI to run our business, to run our profession, to run our lives? The potential of AI is being harnessed across distinct industries. We have AI-driven solutions for disease diagnosis and solutions. 30% of human beings have mutations in the body and drugs don't agree. So we're going to have DNA-based medicine. We're going to have medicine to make sure you recover from cancer. You can live longer. We have autonomous driving cars. It raises issues. When cars drive by themselves, who is responsible for accidents? And then personalized content recommendation. What you see on the internet is not what you want to see, but what that algorithm wants you to see. If you're foolish enough to understand, we are going to search and get what we want. That's not what happens. The algorithm smartly sends you what it wants you to see based on what you started off in the time. AI-powered personal styling is coming. Agriculture is going to be driven by autonomous vehicles which can farm, which can do many things. In Japan, the average age of a farmer is 65 years, and they use automation at scale never seen before. From India, from coders to consumers, we are the heart of the AI revolution. AI has got three levels. The first level is hypercloud, LLM, which is dominated by 7 American companies, $2.5 trillion of investment being put up. We are not there yet. We don't have the capital. Neither do you have the foggiest idea. We have the human capital for that. Second level is going to be small LLMs where enterprises are going to do AI, and that's going to be dominated by Indian software service companies because they're preparing that. Infosys has 2,500 AI projects. They increase productivity by 15%, and what they say. Then these companies are going to have agentic AI, whereas every individual in business is going to have an agentic AI who is going to talk to people to get work for you. The third level is going to be application AI, where young people are going to have startups. And we see a lot of them. In my office, we saw 800 AI startups in the last 9 to 10 months, invested in about 8. So we're seeing this upsurge. And we are seeing in ChatGPT, India has the largest number of users. Of course, we are in the earlier version because it's free. We can't afford to pay. And India has emerged as Anthropic's second largest market for the consumer use of Claude, which writes coding. 30-35% of coding can be done by Claude. And in GitHub, we're going to have the largest number of people. So India's strength is human capital. Sadly, we don't have capital because the three things that are required to dominate globally, one is human capital, physical capital, financial capital. We got human capital, physical capital put up, financial capital we lack. The future areas of competition are going to be transversal technologies, 2 or 3 technologies coming together. For example, edge computing and autonomous vehicles have come together along with AI. And then we're going to have human eyes and automation on a scale never seen before. Maybe wars will be fought with robots. Right now, we are seeing how the drones have transformed warfare. Warfare was with tanks, with infantry going ahead. Now drones are going ahead. Now you could walk across in Delhi and a drone could come and hit you, because somebody is manipulating the drone using satellites. Those incredible things that happen in Star Wars happening in real life today. Foxconn has completely automated some of their factories. When Foxconn had 1.1 million young Chinese girls, they went to the boss and asked for a raise, salary raise, work-life balance, all the nice stuff you talk about. They started replacing 50,000 young girls with robots every year, because robots have dexterity in their fingers, which can be used for making assembly of electronic gadgets. So robots are now replacing human beings on a scale we need before. Robots work 24/7, Judge. No work-life balance. No asking for a raise. They don't want anything. They'll work for you, and the cost has come down by 60%. And the level of automation today is incredible. So we got to work hard 70 hours. You don't work 70 hours, you have no future. You don't want a future, it is fine. Nobody is forcing you to work. You have to be prepared to work very hard. You asked Justice Chandrachud how hard he worked as a lawyer, how hard he worked as a young person in law. His whole life was about work. Work-life balance came much later. You got to work to succeed in life. And all this debate about 70 hours is worthless debate. You don't want to do it, don't do it. Nobody cares, because nobody cares for you except yourself. And you got to dominate, you got to work to build up your skills in the age of AI. And this machine can run 60 kilometers, do a backflip, land on its feet. Machines can lift, machines can handle, machines can pull, machines can do everything. Most things. And if you go to a automotive factory, if you go to Suzuki, Maruti Suzuki, the entire factory is robotically done. You went to China, 1 kilometer wide factory, 1 kilometer depth, half a kilometer wide, everything is automated. There are no robots, it's dark, because there are no human beings. Your manufacture is then lifted by a machine, put into a truck, and the truck drives away by itself. That's the world that's happened today. How far can this go in 25 years? Energy will be low cost. Nuclear fusion is the future for much of energy, because fusion creates more energy than it consumes. And then a sun is nuclear fusion. Elon Musk says 99% of energy comes from the sun as it is today. We must use that. China has now created a device which makes more energy than consumes. And alternate energy like solar and wind is 30% of Europe. 15% of India. By 2030, it could be 30, 35%. And it's low cost, cheap, but we need battery technology to store because it depends on the sun. And Elon Musk wants to put satellite into space for AI, primarily because satellites can take power from the sun 24/7 at a very low cost. But you're seeing incredible progress happening in the field of energy. Expertise will be free. Children will be taught by robots. I'm sure many of you who had to do maths in school woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning on the morning of a maths exam at 10, shivering and saying, I don't know about maths. What could you do except shiver? Now you could go to your laptop, get an agentic AI who will talk to you, tell you about maths, take you through, solve your problems, and go write that exam and possibly pass. So agents are going to tell our children. They're going to be in hospitals giving you succour, taking your blood pressure test and whatever that has to be done. And it's going to be normal. Justice Chandrachud and I were born in a very different analog generation. Some of us were analog and digital. And young people, 25, 30, are digital and mobile. The 13, 14-year generation is going to be AI first generation. In the next 5 years, you're going to have the AI first generation coming. Now, analog to AI first is 4 generations together. Analog to digital to mobile to AI first. Look at the speed of change in the last 25 years. And look at the speed of change in the next 5 years. It's going to be incredible. Labor will be free. You could have robots doing all your housework. You could tell a robot you want tea, it'll make tea for you, it'll serve you food, it'll cook food. Is it happening? Yeah, in many ways it's happening. In construction, robots are doing plastering, painting, and all the nice stuff in Europe. Global trade will become instant and autonomous. You could have, trucks moving by themselves, ships coming, docking, getting lifted and transferred, and you'll have drones running many things that could not be done earlier. Space will become the new economic layer. That's why we're having so much of investment going into space, because the space will be a layer where energy will be created, data centers will be put, people will go. And if you go to space, you can do experiments without gravity. Many of the drugs can be discovered without gravity, and that is fantastic. And then India will become the default developer platform for the world. The Indian brain will make these things happen. And it's happening all around the world. Look at the top 50 digital companies in America. 25 of them are Indian CEOs. And we dominate. I'll give you data as we go along. Every human being can be a programmer because you can speak to the machine in ordinary language and the machine will respond to you. Immersive spatial computing will become a reality. Humans and machines will integrate. And the danger for us is our children will interact with the machine and talk to a machine as if it's a human being, and they will not interact with human beings. My young grandchild talks to, ChatGPT and others as if it's a human being on a machine. He doesn't know, being so young, there's nothing there but an app. Because the app talks back to you, gives you answers, and you can go on infinitely. Just imagine how the interaction will be, how the human-to-human interaction will come down. What do we do to make sure this is better? Every human being can live for 120 years. DNA-based medicine. Your body parts go away. You fall in love and break your heart, we can make a new heart for you. Your kidney, your liver goes away because you have a fondness for some certain things. You get a new liver. Can it be done? Blood vessels have been done by 3D printing. Livers are trying to be done by 3D printing. Hearts are trying to be done by 3D printing. And robotic surgery is 5% of surgery today. And you can go to the womb and do DNA-based medicine. So look at a $10 trillion economy. Can we be a $10 trillion economy? Look at this. 1950, we are the largest economy in Asia. China was destroyed, US was destroyed, Southeast Asia was destroyed, Japan was destroyed. We had 1.5 billion pounds due from Great Britain for the war effort. We brought in socialism, licensed quota Raj. Gandhiji said, this desh mein sarkar vyapari hai, us desh mein janta bikari hai. We became bikaris up to 1980. But in 1950 to 1980, we grew 3.5%, population grew 2.5%, per capita income 1%, the world grew 4.5%. Asia grew 6.5%, we became poorer in 80 compared to 90. That's because of socialism, all the nice thing. The ruling elite in Delhi ruled this country and we remained poor all over the country. 80 to 90, we opened up. We grew 5.5%, population 2.25%, per capita income 3.25%. Our debt went up from 20 billion to 80 billion, we are broke. 91, we had $5 billion in foreign exchange reserves, and we opened up because of pressure of the IMF and pressure of a broke economy. And look at the magic. We got back our economic freedom. We got back economic freedom in 91. No, the courts did not protect us and give back our economic freedom between 1950 to 91. And we got economic freedom, GDP went up from 275 billion to $4 trillion in 34 years, growing at 8.1% a year in dollar terms, 5,32,000 crores to 331 lakh crores in 34 years, 13% a year in rupee term for 34 years. This is fantastic. These are done by Indians. Indian entrepreneurs who got economic freedom. This is data. There is not any political comment. This is data. Data speaks. Export-import has grown by 11% during the years. Our gross savings are 28%, investment 31% of GDP. We invest 92 lakh crores every year, $1.1 trillion. We read reports, no private sector investment. They're not reading the national income statistics. Now, we invest. There are three countries who invest more than $1 trillion, United States, China, and India. We got 4.32 crore young people in college. 10 million graduate every year. Only 28.3% of young people are in college, age group 18 to 23. And Justice Chandrachud, if you look at the students in college, they almost match the composition of society, SC, ST, and backwards, and Muslim, etc. Only the Muslim community is 15%, but 5.5% in college. There's a problem in that community because of leadership, but everybody else nearly matches. It's a fantastic social transformation as far as education has happened. And look at the growth. From 6% gross enrollment rate in 1991, the socialistic paradise, to 28.3%. We should go to 50%. Every young child should get a great education. 1,200 universities, 55,000 colleges, 43 million young kids in college, and about 16 lakh faculty. It's enormous, the largest system in the world. Is it got high quality? No. But like, Amartya Sen said, a bad school is better than no school. A bad university is better than no university. India and China, the only country you must compare is China, not India. We can't be a Finland, we can't be a Singapore, we can't be a US. We have 1.4 billion people, and China's population is shrinking, 2 million a year. India's population is stabilized at 0.8. We'll start shrinking by 2035, 2040. The South will start shrinking by 2035 as per projections. And literacy in India is 80%, 96%. When Mao took over in 1949, he said, women hold up half of heaven. China gave literacy to India's women. We didn't give literacy to a woman. We suppressed a woman. We oppressed a woman, didn't make them literate. And we're suffering the consequence today of a high population growth and lack of development. Literacy is only 80%. China is the largest economy in the world in PPP, 39 trillion. We are 17 trillion. We are a major economy. Don't ever listen to anything saying that you are a small economy or this. I'll give you data. And you can see here, China has got the largest manufacturing in the world. China has got the largest foreign exchange reserve, largest export and import. We are where China was 20 years ago. Are we going to be a next China? No. China's model is different. Our model is different. The world has no role for two Chinas. 30% of global manufacturing is China today. And the world is changing. In the next 10 years, economic power will shift from the OECD to the emerging markets. And that is leading to geopolitical tension. We see what President Trump is doing, putting tariffs and asking for tariff-free access to America. He wants to dominate the world. So there are two great economic powers, America and China. And China will develop faster than America, has got more technology than America in multiple areas today. So India has to find its own place. India has to stand there. But India is the future. India's 100% GDP growth in the last 10 years, from 2 trillion to 4.3 trillion. If anybody in this country looks down and say you're not grown, show them the data. And all of you are going to take India forward in the next 10 years. Be very confident, be very brave, be very optimistic, be very aspirational, and you'll make the future happen. By 2050, you can see all projections telling India is going to be better. We come a long way. Second largest food grains producer in the world, 353 million tons, with the largest quantum of arable land in the world. In every civilization, India had the largest quantum of arable land right from Peshawar to Dhaka in undivided India. Our productivity is low today, 60% of China. We could easily produce 500 million tons of food grains and export to the world. We are exporting 25-30 million tons of rice today. Largest producer of milk, 250 million tons. Cotton, the second largest. Horticulture, second largest, 367 million after Brazil. Sugar, largest. Spices, we are the largest. Livestock population, largest. India is the only country where the cows and buffaloes have fundamental rights. They can wander in the streets and the courts will protect them. We are a strong industrial base, second largest producer of coal after China, nobody else. Third largest producer of iron ore. There is Brazil and Australia. Aviation, third largest. In every facet of human activity, will be number 2 or 3. Railways, 4th largest. Roadways, 3rd largest. Ports, maybe 4th or 5th. Textiles, 2nd largest after China. Renewable energy, 4th largest, soon to be 3rd largest. We have strong financial setup, $5.2 trillion of market value, 6,000 companies going for IPO. And this year, about 2.5, 3 lakh crores will be raised through IPOs. We got a vibrant market. We get $85 billion of FDI coming here. Net FDI is negative because people are taking the money out through private equity. And the mutual fund industry will soon be $1 trillion, small in global reckoning, but $1 trillion is better than $100 million. We got a banking system which is fully on technology through core banking, and the entire system is network. We got nearly about, total deposit is 240 lakh crores. If I remember rightly, that's about $3 trillion. Lending is about $2 trillion, which is very less. Total lending and deposits in India less than one bank in Japan, one bank in America, JP Morgan. We are small, but we have to improve. Access to basic necessities of life. What has Prime Minister Modi done in 10 years? Every prime minister in India's history wanted to help the poor, because the biggest challenge for India since independence has been the poverty and the deprivation of the people because of colonial exploitation. The British took away $45 trillion of India's wealth from 1757 to 1947. India is one of the richest countries in the world. We are agriculturally surplus. We are the greatest artisanal economy in the world. We are great exporters. Pliny the Elder wrote 2,000 years ago, trade with India will impoverish Rome, because we exported spices and textiles, and they had to loot countries to give us gold. We got 32,000 tons of gold, the largest gold hoard of the 215,000 tons in the world ever mined, 200,000 tons of silver. We got a lot of wealth in this country. So what has Modi done? Modi has used technology to make sure every Indian has a roof over the head, water in the tap, power in the switch, toilet in the house, a gas stove, a bank account, money in the bank, a mobile phone, internet connection, education for children, food on the table, and health insurance. When people don't fight for survival, remember this, when people don't fight for survival, aspiration goes up. And this generation is the first generation which is not fighting for survival. 85, 90%. Don't give me some small number somewhere poor and try to do this. Look at the large numbers. Health, education, everything through technology. We have a young population. Average age 28.7 years. We are producing 2.5 crore children for 30 years. Last 2 years, 2.3. Maybe in 3-4 years, 2. And the number of children being born is going to come down in the future. And in Gen Z, I don't know whether you are Gen Z, 377 million people. The largest number of Gen Z in the world is in India. And maybe the generation, millennials, may be the largest. Certainly, the generation alpha is going to be the largest for any country in the world. And these are the young people who aspirational India, who are going to make India. And we're going to be a young population till 2100 till. Share of digital payments has gone up to 90% in October 25. And we have created a digital portal where 20 billion transactions happen every month. Last month is more than Visa. UPI is more than Visa. 350 million QR codes, $309 billion of payments happening. This is incredible. It's a fantastic feat of technology. You can transfer money from one account to another in 5 minutes and be used for very wrong things. In many South, the policeman comes to take a bribe from the vegetable vendor. The woman sits and says, vegetable, says, no money. He says, QR code. In one court in UP or somewhere, you have to give some 100 rupees, so the clerk will put up the file, the judge will read it and throw out the case. That is called throw out the file. That's called throw out the case, And there, he had a QR code. No money. And it was published in the web, and that guy got arrested. The evolution of India Stack. This all happened because the India Stack developed by volunteers in Bangalore, not Delhi. You guys are going to live 9 years less because of all the pollution. Best of luck. So you can see it's happening for 15 years because volunteers came together and developed this portal. World-class products are being built on the India Stack. We've gone from a data poor to a data-rich country, and data becomes a depository for AI and machine learning in future. And the pace of change has gone up. See here, 68 years for 50 million people in airlines, 19 days for Pokemon, 13 days for Aragya Setu. For the Meta app, it is just 2 days. India's edge today. We did GST reform, macro condition, rising income. Everything is in our favor, except you guys have to work 70 hours. Our manufacturing will go from 14% to 21%, and we're the 5th largest manufacturing nation in the world. Many people say, where is manufacturing? It is there. See the data. 5th largest, go to the 3rd largest by 2030. Remarkable leap in innovation. They don't recognize the full extent of innovation because they don't have data, but it's going up. AI leads the charge in AI skill penetration. We have trained a large number of human capital in AI, use of AI. We could build large learning models, we need money. Padam, nobody gives money. Government doesn't give money. They AI karo, AI karo. Government has 11,000 crore payment system for AI, which is peanuts. China spent $150 billion on AI over the last 8 years. Government wants to spend $11,000, $1.5 billion over 5 years. It's peanuts. India is the best performing emerging markets for equity. In the last 30 years, the two markets that perform very well in the equity market, United States and India, every different 5 years. India created a record profit. Corporate profitability is all-time high. I don't know whether it's good or bad. 15.2% of pre-tax profit to GDP. Incredibly high. People have paid back the debts. They're keeping a lot of cash in the balance sheet. What the road ahead? We almost eliminated extreme poverty. Look at the poverty rate, 53.6 to 16.4. Bihar, UP have done very well. Please give them a great hand. You know, Yogi has done a great job. CM Yogi has done a great job. Nish Kumar has done a great job. And today in the south, we get labor from Bihar, we get labor from Bengal, and some of them in Tamil Nadu don't treat them well, and they're not going to come. Then what are these people going to do? We got to thank all of them. You know, the Bihar people go to Kerala, get 750 rupees for unskilled labor, 1,200 rupees for skilled labor. For them, Kerala is the new Dubai. And all the Malayalis go away to Dubai, work in 45 degrees heat to earn 65, 70,000 rupees and come back for in return. And you know, in Kerala, you're seeing Hindi signs there. Hindi in Malayalam for the left is terrible, but it's happening. Inflation is easing. India is transiting from income pyramid to a diamond with a large middle and upper class. So consumer behavior is going up. The poorer class are becoming a lesser part. The top 20% of India will have a per capita income of maybe $8,000 to $10,000. On a PPP basis, $45,000, bigger than the UK and France. The top cohort is a large consumer. Discretionary consumption is going up. Households are shifting money into equities and financial instruments. And the startup ecosystem is doing it. Third largest in the world, 200,000 startups, 25,000 funded, $600 billion value created, $120 billion in the market. Isn't it impressive? All of you are out of it. You know, I'd understand. You've got to feel sorry for yourself. India exports $235 billion of software. We have 6 million people working in software. We export more software than Saudi Arabia exports oil. America has 6 million people in software. 1 million are Indians residing there. Out of the 6 million people, 60% work for American companies. Out of 100, out of let's say, you know, 6 million, yeah. Out of 10 million working for American companies, 4 million are Indians. Of the 1 million hired in software last year, 500,000 are Indians. Of the top 10 software service companies, the market value globally, 5 are Indian. Of the top 5, 3 are Indian. I had to leave, that's why. Of the 3.2 million people working in the top 10, 2.3 million are Indians. Indians have worked hard. We are not cyber coolies like some people in JNU keep talking, worthless people. We are people who manage the greatest infrastructure in IT for global corporations around the world, do mission critical work and complexity work which others cannot do. We've been doing it for years. We bring money here. We give great jobs to people. And look at startups, 200,000 the projection. We already achieved that. We want 250 unicorns and be number 2. We export more software than Saudi exports oil. Startups. Bangalore dominates. 48% of all total deals came here. We invested $164 billion from 2014 to 25. China, 845. United States, 2.32. We don't have money. We need money. Who invests in startups and venture? Endowments, insurance companies, pension funds. They're not doing it in India because regulations don't allow them. Delhi is okay in Gurgaon. Delhi, no. Gurgaon and Noida. You know, Hyderabad, I don't know where Hyderabad is. Chennai, Hyderabad, you know. Bombay, Pune are okay. Bangalore is dominant. India's 123 unicorns have created $400 billion of value. Bangalore has 52 billionaires. Every week, somebody goes for an IPO, becomes a billionaire. They walk around in chappals. Nobody knows them. Of course, they don't have the cash yet, but they get cash. We'll have 250 unicorns by maybe 2 years. India is home to the 4th largest unicorn hub globally. And you can see here, Bangalore has got 53, one of the largest for any city in the world. You take Europe as a country. Europe is not a country, but you know, you've got to be kind to the Europeans. They're being left behind. And we'll have $1.5 trillion value by startup in 2030. Deep tech is coming up. Minister Piyush Goyal said, we don't have deep tech. We're doing all the delivery. I told him, deep tech, hai, aajao, dikhayenge. Came to Bangalore, showed him everything. He said, deep tech, hai. Then we told him, paisa dena, rokda. There's no capital. Our AI companies are going to America to raise capital. What a shame. Government spends 9 lakh crores on subsidies every year, state government and central government. Why can't they spend 50,000 crores giving money to all our startups? All of you should ask this question. Write to Prime Minister Modi and say, give us 50,000 crores of capital. You're giving 9 lakh crore for subsidies everywhere. The startup index is beginning to deliver. Indian conglomerates diversify. Reliance want to be like Alibaba and Tencent. They're doing many things. Tatas are doing something. Tatas will ultimately get there. It takes time. No, a little bit slow. India is getting unicorns globally. 5.4 million Indians legally live in America. There could be others from North Indian states who have gone there doing something. 90 plus US unicorns have a India founder. Among non-US founders, Indians have the largest number. You can see here 90 founders. 25 of the top 50 digital companies have got Indian founders and CEOs. People are shocked. These poor Indians come from nowhere. They become big companies. They're all still living in shock. In billionaires, third largest number of billionaires in India. Very soon, 271 should become 1,000 by 2030. Maybe some of you will learn how to make $1 billion. Is optimizing to empower problem solvers. Startups will be the force multiplier to catapult the country to a 10 trillion. And look at this chart. Can we be 10 trillion? Yes. We grew 11% in the last 3 years, average. And if we continue to grow the same pace, we will grow to 10 crore 54 lakhs GDP, discounted by 20% because we have taken rupee at 85 to $1. We still reach that. We need to grow the same pace we did. We need to invest. We need to innovate. We need to do many things. Is there a probability will be 10 trillion by 2035? I would say 80-85%. I may still be around to see what happens, but you people are going to happen. You people are going to be innovative. You people are going to work hard. You people are going to become entrepreneurs. And you people are going to make it happen. Thank you. Got 5 minutes. 5 minutes questions.
So we'll have some questions, but Mohan is the only person I know who's a fantastic historian, sociologist, futurist, and he's also built up present because as a co-founder of Infosys, the entire IT foundation that India has and has spread globally, he's been one of the architects. Please join me in applauding him because one sentiment I have after this, and I'm going to ask all of you again, I think Sunil Munjal put a very great point. I'm going to only focus on, less than 40-year-old questioners and young leaders here. But are you feeling confident after this?
Louder.
How many people feel confident? How many of the young leaders feel confident?
Come on.
Okay. Please exercise your arm. It's good for your fitness as well. And how many of you feel curious about what's going to happen next?
How many want to be billionaires?
And how many of you have clarity of what's going to happen next and what you want to do next? So the reason is, next question I'm going to come to what which Mohan asked. How many of you have that ambition to be a billionaire? Not just have money, but you have to build that billion. Right? Inheriting money is not the same thing as building the billion. So I'm going to request all of you, the young ones who are confident, clear, and confident to ask questions. We have about 5 or 7 minutes. Please ask or share your quick thoughts. Under 40 only, unless you are under 40 or see, mentally I am under 40, but not biologically. So please this is the golden chance to ask some questions. Anybody at the back? I'm going to be disappointed with the young leaders if I don't get any questions. You have to do some work with the team. Okay, the gentleman at the back. Yeah, please go ahead. Ask loudly. Don't wait for the mic. Okay, so we'll come to that. Let me collect a couple of thoughts. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay, value chain.
No, things will be done by AI, okay. But you got to be in control and you got to use AI to be productive. And I think we're going to see a great boost of productivity, 25-30% next 2 or 3 years. But there's so much to be done. The biggest impact will be in the developed markets, where the fat middle layer of middle class will shrink. Because a lot of the work they do is rule-based work, which can be done by the machine. There are many others work. India is about 5 years behind. The world is about 10-15 years behind of cutting edge. So it will happen in the future. When in the future we have to see, and which country will get impacted, we have to see. We still have to build roads, power plant, houses, airports. We got a lot of work to do. Don't worry about that. But please remember, it is not how fast you are that matters. It's how ahead you are that matters.
That's true. Yeah. On the point of judiciary and technology.
Judiciary has to use technology because they're so far behind. Because they're the analog generation. They're scared of technology. Justice Chandrachud did a lot of work in technology to bring it all forward. They need a common database. They got to get all the cases together. They got to learn how to do things faster. Not go on writing long judgments which people don't want to read. Don't allow lawyers to go on talking and making the same point like you see in a video again. A lot of reforms have to be done. And government should stop becoming a litigant. Government is the biggest litigant. They go on in appeal as a reflex action. So I think we need wholesale reform. The biggest failure of Indian democracy is the lack of justice in the last 75 years. And the poorest, the poor suffer. All of us suffer because the rich can hire a great lawyer. He stands up before the court and says, "My lord," and he gets what he wants. Do we get that? No. We got a big problem. That's the problem in this country that has to be solved.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mohan.